Have you ever wondered why some young professionals rise so fast? They're not always the smartest, they don't necessarily have the best mentors, and it's not just charisma or some vague CEO energy. But the truth is, almost every fast-rising young executive shares one thing in common, and it has nothing to do with talent, but everything to do with this one particular habit. And once you adopt it, you'll stop waiting for permission, you'll start getting noticed, and you'll start leading, even if your title doesn't say it yet. I've worked in the world of performance development with hundreds of high performers, executives in their 20s, in their 30s, all running big businesses. And yes, they are smart, but they're not superhuman. And working closely with these individuals, you start to pick up on their traits, their characteristics, and what separates them isn't necessarily just talent. It's not necessarily an elite school or a perfect CV, or even an early lucky career break. It's actually something far less glamorous and far more powerful. They think like owners long before they're given official ownership. You see, most people wait to be told what to do. These young executives never have. They're already a few steps ahead thinking, what's the real opportunity here? What are we trying to achieve? What could go wrong? They think like the business is theirs, not in a controlling way, but more in a responsible way. They show up like stewards, not just employees. And that mindset, that quiet sense of ownership, it shows. Leadership sees it. Every meeting, every call, every email, leadership sees it. So what exactly is thinking like an owner? Well, let's unpack what that means. It means taking responsibility before you're asked. It means caring about outcomes more than effort. It means making decisions with the company's long-term interest in mind. And it means speaking up, but importantly, not for ego, for clarity and direction. And finally, understanding the difference between activity and progress. I remember I was working with a coaching client in his early 20s, and there was this one instance where leadership invited him to their monthly meeting. Now, he took this advice and he decided that this was the moment that he would show up thinking like an owner. And so he took notes, he tracked follow-ups, and he shared a one-page summary with the action items and shared it around to all those within the meeting. No one asked him to, but he noticed there wasn't a nominated scribe for the meeting. And so he recognized this opportunity to show up with more responsibility. And a week later, the COO pulled him aside and commended him for his actions within the meeting and also outside of it. And within a year, he was running a business unit. He was the youngest executive in the company's history. And it wasn't just this one instance that led to it, but a series of actions like this. It was simply ownership thinking in action. The Stoics would call this prohiroses, the part of you that governs choice, attitude, and response. It's essentially a fancy word for something very simple: your inner ability to choose how you respond no matter what's going on around you. If someone cuts you off in a meeting, you can choose patience. If you don't get the credit for your work, you can choose dignity. That space between what happens and how you react, that's prohiroses. Epictetus put it like this: you may not control external events, but you can control your will. Young executives figure this out early, and usually the earlier that they do, the faster they climb. They take full ownership of what's in their control, even if their salary, title, or authority doesn't quite reflect it yet. They don't waste energy complaining about how they feel undervalued. Instead, they make themselves valuable by the way that they show up, think, and respond. So here's the real question: how do you show up thinking like an owner today? Here are 3 starting points. Number 1, ask bigger questions. Don't stop at what do I need to do? Instead, ask what problem are we actually solving? How does this tie into our overarching objectives? What would I do if this were my company? And what's the long game here? Epictetus said, every habit and faculty is preserved and increased by its corresponding actions. The habit of walking by walking, running by running. If you want to do something, make a habit of it. The more you ask bigger questions, the more you train your mind to zoom out, to reframe, to connect the dots and see that bigger picture. And the habit sharpens judgment, and better judgment leads to better decisions. Number 2, spot problems before they happen. Don't wait for something to break. Whenever you see that something might be off, notice the cracks and raise your hand. Offer a better way with a proposed solution. It's not to show off. It's not about self-promotion. And if you portray it that way, then it will have the reverse effect to your intentions. So instead, it should be to show you genuinely care about company performance. And number 3, take initiative in the quiet. Ownership is built when no one's watching. Take on the thankless task, do the prep, write the summary. These things compound and people notice. There's a famous story about a carpenter who took just as much care crafting the back of a cupboard, the part that no one would ever see, as he does with the front. And his apprentice one day asked, why spend so much time on something that's hidden? And the carpenter replied, how you do anything is how you do everything. If you take pride in the little things, the things that no one's watching, you're building the habit of excellence. And when the big things come along, that same standard shows up automatically. High effort becomes your default setting, and if you stay consistent in that, the results tend to follow. None of this is magic. No one is born with an executive mindset. It's not something that you inherit, it's something that you practice. Most people think, once I get the role, I'll act the part. But here's the paradox. You don't get the role until you act the part. And acting the part isn't pretending. It's not putting on a front. It's taking those actions consistently. Ownership thinking isn't loud. It doesn't draw attention to itself. It works in the background. It prepares you so when the opportunity comes, you're already operating at that level. And that is how young executives earn their seat at the table. It's not about being flashy. It's not about asking for more. It's about demonstrating that you can handle more before it's officially handed to you. You see, you don't rise to the level of your job, you rise to the level of your thinking. So ask bigger questions, spot problems before they happen, and lead, even when no one's watching. So if you enjoyed this video and you want more Stoic strategies on how to navigate the corporate workplace, please like and subscribe for more videos to come. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.